It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Hot from Beyond the Grave! Did somebody say goth? Today we'll be reviewing episode 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 6. Our queens were challenged to act in a parody spin-off of American Horror Story, Rumerican Horror Story. And on the runway category was, Oh My Goth. We'll be breaking down each queen's runway and then taking a closer, more analytical look at how our queens did in that main challenge. That's right, we'll be breaking out the spreadsheets, because I know you love them, to figure out if our queens were given a fighting chance or if the producers rigged them an early grave. And then at the end of today's video, we'll be taking a look at Scarlet's letter, see what I did there, to Rupaul about the uncomfortable critique. Now, without further ado, let's put these bitches 6 feet under. First up, tonight on the runway, she's just like any other Victorian teenage girl. She loves shopping, long strolls in the park, and practicing voodooism. At first glance, I really loved this runway, but then I started looking a little too closely and was like, what the hell is going on here? It's kind of like the gothic version of what Pandora wore on the runway a few weeks ago. Except it's got this really strange length to it. It's like not long enough to have a train and then like not short enough to really be that smock kind of style dress. And it really just makes me want a little bit of a cinch at the waist or a bigger flare at the bottom. Like maybe if there was a petticoat underneath to give it a little bit more va-va-voom. The other thing that was kind of confusing for me was she's got on this gray hair and she's giving me very much like, is she 50 or 15 vibes? And I'm like, girl, can we choose an age? Can we choose a dress length? It's just the whole thing is very in between one and the other. I hope she won't curse me for it, but I am going to give this look a rat. Next up, let them eat cake. It's Eureka. She says that she's giving us 16th century Bride of Frankenstein meets Marge from The Simpsons. And I do see those two references, but I think she may be a little bit off on the time period. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's anything necessarily 16th century about this. I think this is more 17th to 19th with that big poof hair that she's wearing, kind of inspired by like the Marie Antoinettes, if you will, to use the most obvious example. But girl, what do I know? It's all in the past. What's more important is that she looks damn good. The hair is fabulous. I love the little peekaboos of the lingerie and the wider paint that she's used on her face. This is, I will say, not necessarily the most original thing we've ever seen on the runway. We have seen variations of this look from, the very beginning, back with Raja, all the way to Detox, to Miss Cracker on All Stars. It's been done again and again and again. Now we're seeing it in a little goth flair, and I think that's fun. This look had me dead and alive. It's hot. Next up, it's Trinity K. Bonet in The Croning. Any Schitt's Creek fans out there? This very much gave me Moira Rose, but make it high fashion. And I'm sure that The Croning was not what she was inspired by. In fact, I'm getting fierce vibes from this. ChaCha. Fierce vibes. I've been practicing my shoulders. Is it working yet? Knowing how much Trinity loves Beyonce, I'm thinking this was probably inspired by Queen Bee's Formation Tour look. Down to the tulle on the side and the big brimmed hat. Pretty sure it was. But what I love about this is that she really did make it her own. She applied it to this runway. The only thing I was a little bit upset about, and this was not her fault, was the lighting on the stage. I feel like because it was in all black, we kind of missed out on some of the details of the different fabric textures and sparkles of the stones. The whole silhouette is absolutely stunning from head to toe, and y'all know I love a train, at least once a week. Unholy Trinity, this look is hot. Next up, pants on the runway. It's Raja O'Hara. So this is the second week in a row that we have seen her in pants, and she is like the one queen I think that can pull them off every single time, but I really would have loved to have seen her do something a little more elevated and challenge herself for this runway, because if there was a runway to go crazy and try something new, this was it. Unfortunately, she didn't take that chance, and yeah, she looks pretty, but I'm just not living, dying, and resurrected. You know what I mean? I will say the top part of her outfit looks super well made, and I'm loving the little like applique details and the vintage gothic, almost like wallpaper vibes of the fabric that she used. There's a lot of structure in it, but I wanted a little more goth out of it. When you stack this up against everyone else's goth look tonight, I just don't think it holds up. It's gonna be a rot. And before we go any further, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video and to remind you to press like and hit subscribe if you support human rights. I also want to remind you that my channel is made possible by my generous patrons over on patreon.com/bussyqueen. That's my members only website where my patron family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my videos, exclusive videos like my raw, uncut reactions to All Star Season 6, and access to the Bussy Queen Discord server. Click the link in the description of my video to join today. See you there. Anyways, now let's get back to it. Next up, a queen I owe an apology, Akeria C. Davenport. You heard me right, apology. Turn on your screen recorders, take your screenshots, because this does not happen very often. Last week, I gave Akeria's look a rod because I was too ignorant to understand her concept. I was looking for basic printed patterns when in fact, she had elevated above and beyond the rest of the competition and become an actual dress pattern in a face bikini with measuring tape to boot as a look. It truly is a gag. I was very wrong, okay? I admit that. Thank you for the thousands of comments letting me know how wrong I was. But let's be honest. Y'all know I'd never touched a sewing machine in my life, so how is a girl like me supposed to know? Akeria did measure up last week. In fact, she was a cut above the rest. This look was hot. Now onto this week's runway. Mama, this is what I'm talking about. This is the drama, the drag that I was looking for from this runway category. The headpiece of it all, girl, this is amazing. And she's matched that giant cross wreath detail with crosses on the sides of her hips. It is an amazing silhouette. And I don't know what those little spikes are made out of, maybe metal, because she was saying that it hurt her to wear this outfit. But hey, that's when you know you've got a good look, because beauty is pain. Plus, you know, kind of on theme with the whole goth thing. She is adorned in crosses, but don't take her near a church because she's hot enough to burst into flames. Next up, she's alive, but only barely. It's Jan. She is giving me full undead goth glamorama eleganza. And if there was a queen in this competition that I was excited to see do this runway, it's Little Miss Sparkles, Rainbows, and Sunshine, Jan. Because you may or may not know this, but several years ago, she started this like little YouTube review channel called The Witching Hour, where she was reviewing Dragula and turning spooky looks every single week. And that was my introduction to Jan. I was like, oh cool, I love this like horror, spooky, campy, fun, crazy queen. And then she went on Drag Race and she became Jan from the Brady Bunch. So I don't know what happened there or if she truly is just the most versatile queen of them all. Oh, ow. Anyways, here we are. I love the cage sleeves of this outfit. They're reminding me of Gottmik's promo look a little bit. I'm also living for her little collection of pentagrams throughout her look on her forehead and her hair. And I think she was one of the only queens to really take this gothic fantasy all the way with the makeup. Oh, and that coffin backpack was a perfect little campy touch to this look. Jan buried me alive. This was hot. Next up, Kylie's Sonique Love. Okay, first things first. This is one of the siest looks to ever hit the stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, period. And the fact that she sold so much in this all black, strappy, spider webby fantasy, gag. She brought us to the underworld where it belongs, am I right? I love the little red zipper details on the back when she turns around. I mean, I could stare at her in this look for hours. It's like gothic Fifth Element with a twist of underground punk Matrix vibes. Kylie is a queen that proves time and time again. She knows exactly who Kylie Sonique Love is and how to accessorize and clothe that drag character. On brand every single time. Ugh, and I live and die. This look is hot. And finally on the runway, you better run away before she marries you or your husband, kills you and steals your fortune. It's Pandora Boxx. Pandora is another queen tonight that truly brought the drag to the runway. Like, she is giving me camp, she's giving me glamour, she's telling me a whole story. And have I heard the story of the widow at the husband's funeral collecting the fortune, yada 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 before? Yes, but Pandora found a way, I think, to make it fresh, fun, and in her flavor. I love that giant veil box thing that's on her head, and her whole dress looks like a giant, yummy, ruffly cake. She also did what I really wanted her to do last week on the runway, and that was to match her makeup to her look. She's got that smudged black eyeshadow from all the tears that she's been shedding. Fake tears, I'm sure, but nonetheless, she's been crying, and it's sad. Pandora, you're going straight to hell, and I'll see you there. This look is hot. Now, how about some analytics, some spreadsheets? I know you want them. In order to determine if our queens are given a fair chance at success in this acting challenge today, I counted the words spoken by each of our queens one by one. And yes, it took forever, but I love you and I did it for you. Here's what I found. Ginger Minj, who played Emma, like Emma Roberts, our guest judge tonight, Justice for Scream Queens, had a total of 124 spoken words during the sketch, accounting for over 15% of this sketch's verbal scream time. Eureka's role had 93 words, Trinity 74, her twin Raja 82, Akeria only had 71 words, Jan 95, Kylie Sonique Love, wait for it, 189 words as Jessica, the main character, and Pandora's role had 91 words. Now, numbers are fun, fun, but they don't mean anything unless we take a deeper look. The interesting thing to me about this dataset is that it almost perfectly predicted how our queens placed this episode. The queens with the most spoken words, Jan, Kylie, and Ginger, were, guess what, our top 3, and Kylie, who had the most words, won. And of the queens with the least amount of words, Trinity, Raja, and Akeria landed in the bottom. And poor Akeria, with the least amount of words, was eliminated. She had only 8.67% of the total words in this entire script, many points below all of her peers. But what do we make of this? Why did this happen like this? It is a little spooky scary, don't you think? Boo! But before I answer that, I will say that I agree with the judges' decisions tonight. Kylie was excellent in her role and truly stepped up to the plate. And she completed an important character development story arc. She went from shy Sonique to crazy Kylie. And I will also say Ginger would have been an amazing pick for the win this week as well. She is an amazing actress. And in the same vein, Akeria failed to make us laugh, and Raja made weird acting choices that didn't translate well to us as viewers. But then I got to thinking and was wondering if I was a little bit biased to agree with these placements because I subconsciously associate screen time with performance capability. Or was it possible that the characters with more words in the scripts were just written better? Or did these queens with larger character roles simply have more chances to succeed? For example, they gave Eureka negative critiques, and I agree she had a rough start, but because she had more words, I think she had more time to recover her performance, whereas Akeria wasn't given that same chance. And I think it's also possible the editors may have cut parts of this sketch out to better align with how our queens were actually placed by the judges. Finally, I want to point out the directing was not totally fair, at least from what we saw. For example, Michelle showed Kylie exactly how she wanted those lines performed, and apparently is a killer actress. But from what we know, Akeria, Raja, and Eureka didn't get that same learning opportunity, or any other queen for that matter. And I do want to make it clear, I'm not discounting anyone's acting ability or disputing the placements, because like I said, I agree with them, but I just think it's important to look at the raw numbers and look at where things may have gotten a little bit riggy. But let me know what you thought about this challenge. Did you enjoy it? Did you catch all the American Horror Story references? And do you agree with the placements? And now for Scarlet's letter. As you all know, Scarlet was eliminated in last week's episode after receiving a critique from Ru that her performance made Ru uncomfortable. In an exit interview that Scarlet did with Nylon, this is what she said about Ru's critique. It was absolutely crushing, specifically because I was embracing my vulnerability and telling that story and sharing my aspect of the world. My response to Rupaul would be that maybe being uncomfortable isn't such a bad thing. Why are you uncomfortable? Maybe we can take a look at that? Sometimes art makes us uncomfortable. She later clarified that she was actually embarrassed to be going home on the talk show episode because it was something she considered herself to be good at. She also said these pink table talks are based on Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith's show, and the conversations are, quote, not supposed to be comfortable. They address things that maybe do make people uncomfortable, basically defending her performance and how it made Ru feel. She also said that things may have, quote, gone a lot different if she was the moderator, but she wanted Kylie to know that she believed in her as a friend and as a competitor. I think this take is really interesting from Scarlet, and keep in mind this is what she's saying in retrospect, maybe like a whole year after her elimination. But let me know what you think about all of this. Were you uncomfortable by Scarlet's story? Was the uncomfortable that Scarlet seems to be describing the same type of uncomfortable that Ru seems to be feeling that day? Or maybe could we chalk all that up to weird editing and strange judging? And finally, did she deserve that elimination? She seems not to think so, even after given all this time to think about it. And finally, it's that time again. My hottest hat on the runway tonight goes to Kylie Sonique Love. I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hot, and this week they've also chosen Kylie Sonique Love. A match made in heaven.
I mean hell.
And as always, I want to say thank you so much to all of my subscribers and generous patrons who make my channel possible, and give a special shout out to Lana Montgomery, Brett Sterling, Christina Cerna, Alexis B, Flo, and Douglas, who've all just joined my Patreon at the Hat tier. And Aiden Smith, Anna Miriam, Anthony, Aquamarina, August Everywhere, B-Rolls, Bradley Cameron, Cherry Poppins, Christopher, Claire Moosdale, Darmisha, Delani, Deutsche Leather, Dr. Martin, Evan, Fractalize, GJ Bearclaw, Gotham Orbs, Jay, Jenny, Jedex, Jonah, Johnny, Giovanni, Kevin, Kiki and John, Madam Muffy, Millennial Hissy Fit, Nathan, Nathan Parker, Opal, Pasquale Nava, Randy Candy, Ron, Shannon, Chazzy, Sky, Sultan, Tammy, Thomas, Timotheus, Tony, Travis, Tyler, Sinnerkaus, Vendetta, and Wheelie, who are all supporting me at my hottest hat tier. And Ali Al, Angel, Caroline, Cyrus, Felicia, Cody P, JB, Joseph, JP in Dallas, Laura, Nurse Luca, Matthew, Robert Reeves, Scooby Snacks, Sailor, Steven, Tom Jaco, Tom Young, and Triton, who were all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier. See y'all later. Love ya. Bye. Oh. God, I look good. Okay. So, I can't decide if I want to be closer. I think I need to be closer. Closer is always better for my children. There comes a time when you just say, fuck it.